Welcome students. This is an initiative taken by the Directorate of Higher Education, Government of Goa for developing e-content learning in the subject of economics. Well, I will be presenting on the module movements on the supply curve, that is extension and contraction of supply, Unit 2 Production and Cost, paper Microeconomics, Semester 1 BCom. By the end of this lecture, the students will be able to understand the impact of the change in the price of the commodity on the quantity supplied of that commodity. Well, to begin with, I will briefly explain the concept of supply, determinants of supply, law of supply, and also the supply curve. Supply. In economics, supply during a given period of time means the quantities of goods which are offered for sale at particular prices. Supply may be defined as the amount of that commodity which the sellers or the producers are willing and able to offer for sale at a particular price during a given period of time. Coming to the determinants of supply, these are also referred to as the factors determining supply other than price. Let us discuss what are the important determinants of supply. These are also referred to as factors determining supply other than price. First factor, cost of factors of production. Cost of production depends on the price of the factors of production. If the price of a factor of production rises, the cost of the production will also rise and vice versa. Secondly, we have the state of technology. The supply of commodity depends upon the methods of production. Any advances that have been made in technology, innovation, inventions, etc. contribute to increase supplies of commodities, but at a lower cost. The next that we have is the non-economic factors. These include weather conditions, floods, famines, droughts, which cause fluctuations in the supply of a commodity, and hence it also alters the supply. Factors like fire, earthquake, floods may destroy the productive assets and curtail the supplies. Fourthly, we have the government policy, that is the taxes and the subsidies. Imposition of a tax on the factor of production increases the cost of production and consequently it curtails or reduces the supply. Subsidy on the other hand acts as an incentive to production and it increases the supply. Let us briefly understand the law of supply. The law of supply states that other things remaining constant, higher the price, greater is the quantity supplied, and lower the price, smaller is the quantity supplied. And hence we say the relationship between the price and the quantity supplied is a positive relationship, or in other words it is a direct relationship. Let us take an illustration. If you look at the table, the law of supply can be explained with the help of the illustration. We have the market supply schedule, which is a tabular representation of the price of the notebooks and the quantity supplied on the other hand. When the price is 10 rupees, quantity supplied is 8,000 units. When the price is 15 rupees, quantity supplied is 16,000 units. When the price goes up further to 20 rupees, quantity supplied increases to 24,000 units. Still, when the price goes higher to 25, quantity supplied also increases to 32,000. The figure indicates the relationship between the price and the quantity that has been supplied. and when you plot the data from the table on the graph, we get a curve which is the supply curve. To name, it is the SS in the figure above. The main topic for today's discussion is movements along the supply curve. When the price of the commodity changes, other factors remaining constant, the quantity supplied of a commodity also changes suitably. This is known as the change in the quantity supplied. Graphically, it causes a movement along the supply curve. This movement in the supply curve is mainly due to the change in the price. There can be two situations. One is there can be extension of supply or there can be contraction of supply. What is meant by extension of supply? If the price rises, other factors remaining constant, there is an increase in the quantity supplied, and this is referred to as an extension of supply. Graphically, this has been represented as an upward movement along the supply curve. Let us have a look at this diagram. In the figure, when the price is OP, quantity supplied is OQ. When the price rises from OP to OP1, quantity supplied also rises from OQ to OQ1, and hence you will see that there is a movement on the supply curve SS. The movement can be seen from point A to point B, and this is what is called as the extension of supply. Extension of supply can be also called as the expansion of supply. Contraction in supply. If the prices reduce, keeping other factors constant, firms tend to decrease the supply. This is referred to as the contraction in supply, and graphically this is represented as a downward movement along the same supply curve. Let us have a look at this figure. When the price is OP, quantity supplied is OQ, but when the price falls to OP2, quantity supplied also falls to OQ2, and hence we see that there is a downward movement on the supply curve SS. The movement from point A to point C is what has been termed as contraction of supply. Well students, there are a number of references mentioned. D.M. Mithani, Principles of Economics, another book by Dr. D.M. Mithani, Managerial Economics, Theory and Applications. Thank you.